Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Ceremonial Witch back here on Ceremonial Witchcraft. And before I play all the recorded content I recorded for you guys, a couple things. I know I said I wasn't going to play Fredo too much anymore. I did tape a couple of his episodes. Not very high profile, popular ones, but they kind of illustrate a point that I try to get at. So I'm going to play those first, coming up here. Anybody who listens to Birch's show on Spreaker, you'll probably notice he didn't have a show this week, and last week was on Wednesday, so I don't know if it's going to be today or not, so that's why I'm doing mine during the day, because I don't want to do ever mine at the same time as to him, because, well, should be told, I always watch his show or listen to his show. One of the reasons I promote Birch and Frater Xavier Mind and Magic channel on here is because I truly believe that they are important to everybody's spiritual growth. I believe everybody should listen to them who's going down this path, whether it's witchcraft or ceremonial magic. And even if you are only ceremonial magic, well, you should listen to Birch as well, because he's going to give you a lot of good information on so many things. And if you are witchcraft, well, you should also listen to Frater Xavier. I mean, Birch goes into different versions of spiritual baths and showers, washings, uncrossings, stuff like that. Frater goes into in depth on that shit as well. Either way, they have a lot of good knowledge for both. So I'm going to try to reduce it because I don't believe that I should be playing their stuff as much on here. At least it's not video. They offer the videos. Video is always better. Whereas, well, Frater, it's only his voice you hear anyways. And should be told, one of the episodes I play on here is kind of about his temple, and he shows a lot of cool pictures on his temple on his channel for that one, so I would suggest checking it out. But it's just to illustrate a point. But yeah, so Birch actually put out a video though, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but it's him at TaxFest, and it's pretty good. I watched it and I fucking loved it. It's about an hour long. A lot of the same information he's gone over on some of his channels, but some other new information that I've never heard. But there's a reason for the repetition of the information, and if you are trying to train your mind, listen to the same stuff over and over again, it's just going to reaffirm, reassure, and implant and reprogram your mind that much better. So something I need to learn to actually go over some stuff more often. I'm always trying to deliver something new, but in the same sense, sometimes people are going to need to hear the same thing over and over to get a better understanding or better knowledge of it, because I know I do. I know I learn like that, so it's probably in the best benefit for anybody and everybody else who is listening to this. But anyways, just wanted to give a little pretext to that. But this is going to be a little shorter than usual. I'm not using the full 3 hours, just because I think I could have ranted on and on about it, and the last thing I ranted on, it might have been about the disease cancer, and I don't want to offend, hurt, or make anybody sad. That's a disease I fucking obviously I don't think anybody likes the disease cancer, to be honest, but it's affected me from recently an aunt to as a child. I lost a childhood friend. So if anybody thinks I'm being insensitive, I am very sorry, and I probably am. Just that now that you're in magic, especially with a lot of the different people I've put on here and a lot of the different topics we cover about how magic is, everybody's performing magic. So if you are a hypochondriac and scared of getting a disease, well, you're sorry to say this, but you're more likely going to get one if you put any emotion to that. If you just have the thoughts without emotion, which is very hard to do, but if you do, then, you're going to be okay. But anyways, if I do say anything controversial or anything that offends anybody, I'm very sorry. And this is just my opinion of things, but it's how it works for me. But anyways, so yeah, I'm sorry for the absence and putting books on there. I was experiencing some types of technical difficulties, but it was more on trying to because I have all these episodes written down in a book. I have all this new content I want to put out, all these perspectives and how I did certain things, and I just want to find the right way to relate it and say it. I also go over how I'm going through all my old episodes and anything I left open-ended. And what I mean by that is I said I was going to come back and finish, that I never did, or I'm going to talk about it in the next episode, what I never did, like with the hypnosis script, like with all the stuff you should listen to for, if you're trying to manifest money, different sites and YouTube channels that you should be listening to. It's all basically... Anyways, I cover most of this on here, but that's what I'm going back. I'm going back and going through my episodes, and I'm gonna cap all those. Anything I think I felt like I left open, I'm gonna close all those out, and then I'm gonna get into that well, I want to get into a lot of different crazy stuff that I experiment with that I may not have concrete evidence if it works or not works yet. I do have signs that things are working, so I want to get into a lot of that without fucking up my shit. But today I actually go into certain things that, I've done recently to try to manifest things. It's not necessarily money, but it's more like opportunities to make money, and I actually talk about all of it. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go into a song real fast, one I play often on this channel, High Hopes. But after that, you're going to hear 2 episodes from Frater Xavier. I'm going to have to put a song in between because as recording, fucking YouTube plays fucking shit, fucking ads and all that, but that's fine. These guys have to make money too, so I get it. I mean, I still skip them, but I get it. Everybody makes money off of ads whenever they're doing this shit, and that's cool. All the power to them. And, if you're one of those people that don't like that or hate that or wish people didn't have to do that, well, understand if these people weren't getting paid to do this information, there wouldn't be like people like me out here paying to come on here and give you more information, and because I would never have got the information in the first place from those people. So the first thing you need to do is to change your thought process about ads and about money. Yes, there is some corruptness. Yes, people consuming so much to the point where there's all this money in putting ads on channels that is probably not how the world should be or not how the world should work. And I agree 100%. I wish we could all live in love and light, but that's not how it goes. And even if we were, then some sick fuck would come and fuck that up somehow. And until we get rid of all the sick fucks, then we can't evolve the world the way we want. So until, everybody understands that, we're not going to do harm to each other, just let us do what we want to fucking do without all this other bullshit. Well, until we can actually weed out all that, it's never going to be like that. We are all built with negative and positive, and the goal is to be between those 2 poles so that there's good and bad and negative and positive, and there's good and bad on both those sides, and by staying in the middle, you can use them both to your advantage, basically. And that's an ongoing pursuit. And I don't think in this lifetime, I don't think our goal ever will be to be all one humble race on the planet. That's a fucking pipe dream, and it's a beautiful idea, and I truly wish that could happen. I think eventually it may have to happen, but I don't know if this is the realm where that happens. Maybe this is more like a testing realm, and those who pass get to move up, and those who don't pass get to redo or go lower, because there are lower vibrational energies, which I talk about in this, that I don't think are a graduated force that moved up. If anything, they moved back, or they are starting up the path. Maybe I was that low vibrational energy at one point, and now we're here to be tested to say, all right, we're going to stay in that low vibration, because we can go both ways. We can stay in a low vibration, or we can go to high vibration. You know what I mean? So that's all up for debate, and that's basically challenging spiritual views right there. So I'm not going to tell anybody what it is and what it isn't, but I do get into my opinion on that, and things that I've seen and things that I've learned. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the show. I got to get my song list open, and I got to get the Frater shit set up. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I think I have about 45. It's probably about 45 minutes of me talking. When you add the Frater videos in there, it's about an hour long. So I hope you enjoy the show. Have a good one.
Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated, all tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing, didn't have a dime but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living,
there is a separate consciousness inside of you. We like to call it the ego. And it does things faster than you do, and its only job is to keep your meat alive. Unfortunately, it's...
Just gonna say it. Feels like you're selling out. No real content for a month now. You're basically covering the YouTube drama and constantly self-promoting. It's really kind of sad. So I guess this means you're not gonna like the t-shirt. Seriously though, if you're not learning, you're not listening. Of course you picked a time period where there was the 20K giveaway in there, but with everything else, I've always included a lesson. Perhaps I didn't make them clear enough for you, but even so, you should be learning to extract the lessons that life presents you, because Frater isn't always going to be able to spoon feed you a lesson every week. So you need to be extracting the lessons in your everyday life through intuition, meditation, cross-communication with the subconscious. Just as the subconscious helps create your reality, it will send you messages and lessons through your reality. And it's your job to pick up on them and interpret them and find the meaning within. And this can make the difference between ignorance and brilliance. I would concern myself more with that than whether or not I'm reporting on YouTube policy change, which is going to affect everyone, including this channel. As for selling out, who am I selling out to? Myself? I don't have any sponsors. I don't take any corporate money other than the little ad revenue this channel generates, which has always been the case. I don't take out any ads for this channel, so all self-promoting is done on this channel. You guys help promote this channel with sharing, and you do a great job of it. Any changes that I do make, I always ask, is this going to help me provide better service? Is it going to make things easier for people, such as the links on the outro page, which I should have made one of those a long time ago, if I'm being honest. I just got around to it now. And here again you see the two and spend a few hours linking to the original video and deal with copyright and all that, and it just, it's a hassle, it's a headache, and it's usually the ones who dislike anything businessy or corporate who are the cause of having to be businessy and corporate. Just as the ones screaming sell out are usually the first to sell out, if given the chance. You have to put certain protections in place, you see, because I know people like this won't buy them. At least it decreases the odds. And then other things I'll just sit on and find something else to talk about. See, a question like this displays only ignorance. And I don't mean that as in they're a bad person or trying to guilt or shame them. They simply just don't know. They lack knowledge and they just don't want to know. Not only does this person not know enough about magic, they don't know enough about money. I have friends that are the same way. Way back when I started, long before I learned the lesson on silence, tried to tell a friend about magic and the crazy experiences that I've had with it. And he just looks at me and says, then why haven't you won the lottery? And this is a typical response. It was after that I stopped trying to tell people. People that I know in real life. It didn't matter that before magic, I couldn't scrape 2 nickels together, but now I'm making over 6 figures. That doesn't matter. I haven't won the lottery, so magic must not be real. See, it's ignorance. They think that if it's not instantaneous, then it doesn't work, because they have this preconceived notion of what magic is, and it's wrong. They also have these ideas about money that are wrong. If they knew what money really was, they wouldn't be wanting to go for the big money. Money is a means, not the end. You need to cast for the end and allow the means to present itself. Magic supports the action, and action supports the magic. All basic, simple principles. And I can't go into more advanced stuff when people aren't getting the basics. You may remember that message I got from that one racist guy who basically warned me not to teach the Goyim because they're all stupid cattle. His words, not mine. Well, this is what he was talking about. And he's right to a certain extent. Where he gets it wrong is that not everyone is like that. There are people who do want truth, who do seek knowledge, who do want to learn and become the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. But there are a lot of people out there who do want to remain in their ignorance. Not only remain in it, but to display it every chance they get. I tried to tell my friend that that's not how magic works, but he chooses to ignore it. And that's his choice. I want him to have a better life just as I want all of you to have a better life. But you can't force it on anyone. So I learned long ago that you just can't reach certain people. It hasn't mattered that they've seen the results over time. They're looking for that instant big lottery win, that instant solution to all the problems. Because quite frankly, they don't want to have to work for anything. And isn't that what magic should be about? Not having to put forth effort? And so their notion of what magic is fundamentally flawed at its core. Meanwhile, while I'm moving up, they're standing still, and it will drive a rift between people, as you cannot relate to them anymore. Can't relate to the things that they value or talk about anymore. You know, I sometimes get asked, how do you find like-minded individuals in a sea of ignorance? Well, most people join groups, lodges, covens, which could bring its own set of issues, as only a group dynamic can do. And other than that, you just cast for it. I can see it being an issue for younger people. I'm at that age now where I enjoy my peace and quiet. Maybe that's why they call it hermeticism. You end up becoming a hermit, and you simply can't relate to the masses anymore. But it's not all them. They don't like hanging out with me because they tell me their problems, and I tell them how they need to get their mind right. And that usually doesn't go over too well. I should come with a warning. Don't tell me your problems unless you want solutions. Preachy, preachy solutions. So if you want to connect with others, I would put it on your magical to-do list. I really don't frequent forums these days. People will usually send me links to things that they may find relevant. Other than that, I really don't. Working on this channel, these videos, and my own personal practice has become pretty much full-time. And in my downtime, as I said, I enjoy my peace and into grimoire after grimoire, current after current, path after path, ritual after ritual, etc. I can say that the two teach are the most efficient and have worked every single time. And this is coming from someone who is majoring in the sciences and going for a PhD. Professors really discourage and are against magic, but this stuff truly and honestly works. I have seen more success with simple water bottle magic over working with the dragons of the Kalath, for example. Now my university sends me a check for $2,500 every 3 months due to, let's say, some things they looked over and are now rectifying, and right after the water bottle magic, too. This is what keeps me going. If all I got was ignorance from people, then I'd have quit YouTube a long time ago. But people are getting the results. And because they're trying it and getting the results, now they know. And they can go on and do brilliant things with it. In this case, he was talking about the water magic found in the Fire and Water program. The other day I found this gem in my inbox, which really got me pumped up. Dear Creator Xavier, I have had some amazing and life-changing successes with Mercury retrograde workings over the past year. And seeing how today is the last day of Mercury retrograde in Virgo, I decided to pay homage by sharing the best ones with you. During a past retrograde, I tried your fast delivery road opener candle on a Wednesday while ordering a smartphone car mount. I was sent a package labeled phone car mount. Inside the package was a smartwatch. You can imagine the joy I felt while laughing about this mistake. I did another Mercury retrograde candle working for my editors, seeing me as a professional, high-value writer. Saturn in Capricorn and Mercury square midheaven has traditionally slowed my career growth. A few weeks later, I received a call from an editor asking me if I wanted to take on a travel writing assignment. I had hot locations, stay in high-end hotels and resorts, eat at the famous restaurants, and write about how much fun I had doing it. As someone who had been programmed to believe that writers and artists must apologize for their creativity and live in sordid poverty, this is a dream come true. On one of these trips, which took me to the Caribbean, I expressed my gratitude by gifting my smartwatch to my poor housekeeper. It felt incredible to free up the circuit, and as a result, I feel free from the many material constraints that have bound me in the past. In one video, you mentioned how looking at melted wax can indicate how the magic will manifest. Check this baby out. The astrological symbol is alive and well. Now look at that. I mean, that's unmistakable. Isn't that incredible? Here he is working with Mercury as the trickster to his advantage, which is the best use for Mercury during a retrograde. He continues, by the way, I'm traveling through Northern Europe at the time of this writing. This morning, my hotel's attractive German housekeeper greeted me with a bottle of red wine in one hand, a shave kit in the other hand, and a big smile on her face, the suggestions of which are so absurd I had to laugh. Thanks, Mercury. And Prater, thank you for trusting me with the keys to this kingdom. You are the only teacher I've known whose teachings have consistently led me on an upward spiral and whose lessons, when applied as specified, actually work. I'm in awe of how much fun it is to be alive right now. Danke. Thanks in German. For the first time I read this, I was incredibly moved and teared up even. I couldn't be more proud and happy for him. Here he went from leading an ordinary, everyday, drab existence to traveling the world, living the life of his dreams, and getting paid for doing it. This may be the ultimate testimonial. He's taken the lessons given to him, what has been taught to him, and he's taken it and absolutely crushing it. Now, he sent things in before. I believe he's the same one that wanted the specific serial number on the money and ended up getting it. So I can't wait to hear more of his magical adventures. He's got me so pumped up. Because as I do my best to lift others up, when I get things like this, it lifts me up. And we lift each other up together. Absolutely a brilliant use of the Mercury retrograde. Making his dreams come true all by following the simple techniques found, again, in the Fire and Water program. Brilliant results are going to beat derping about in ignorance every time. Now, do you think anyone's going to be able to come along and convince him that living the life of his dreams is somehow evil and lighting a candle is from the devil? He knows. He's going to laugh at that. From my perspective, not living the life that you want is the true evil and ignorance. Choose to be brilliant. Take action. Live your purpose. Fulfill your dreams. And I'll see you soon. If you enjoyed this video, here's another Mystery School lesson you may. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more weekly content to help expand your knowledge. Thanks for all the love and support, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Field in my sight, I take a beer situation, gonna make it right. In the shadow of the darkness, I stand in the light. See, it's our style.
lose them, they don't faze me. Even if I look and act really crazy, I won't wait till she betrayed me. Now my vision is no longer hazy. I'm very lucky to have my crew. They stood by me when she flew. I've been knocked down, beat down, black and blue. She's not the one coming back for you. She's not the one coming back for you. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Ceremonial Witch, Corey LeBlanc, back here on a Ceremonial Witchcraft show on Ceremonial Witchcraft. Well, I guess show. So, it's been a while since I've actually been on here speaking. I want to say pretty close to a week. I think I actually came on after my camping trip once, but it wasn't very long. Maybe a couple of little segments, 15, 20-minute segments. But yeah, so a little bit about what's been going on around here. Went camping and all that. Had a great time. But what I want to talk about today is going to be kind of connected to when you start coming down this path. You're in the magic path and you're looking at shit and you're all in awe of how, though, say you're just starting your initiation. Maybe you're even like me, you quit your job, but maybe you're still working your job. It doesn't really matter. But you're starting to manifest things. Maybe you had your first couple manifestations, they worked out, and everything's pretty fucking cool because life's going pretty fucking great. You realize that, man, just with my mind, I can get what I want. If you're like me, then your family members are not really on board with the whole magic thing, but, it doesn't matter because you understand if you control your mind, you can control your reality. Yes, the reality is connected to yours, but you know that it's going to be all okay because you know what you know and you're going to continuously learn. But that being said, this shit isn't always easy. This path isn't for everybody, and that's what makes the difference. Birch likes to say this magic, or being a witch rather, in his case, is not for the faint of heart, because if things that go bump in the night scare you, well, the difference between someone who says they're a witch and someone actually being a witch is when the things go bump in the night, say you got 10 people doing a fucking seance or doing a ritual or whatever together. Well, when something fucking crazy happens, unquote unquote scary, I guess, the real witch is the only ones left in the fucking room. And that was one of my biggest sticking points, like I've already mentioned. I always had a fear of spirits and seeing spirits and shit like that. I would gladly take a gun to the fucking head, pick a bullet for my kids, jump off a fucking cliff, before I would stay in a room with what I thought was a ghost or a spirit. In fact, I'd probably jump off the cliff trying to get away from the fucking spirit back in the past. But now, starting this path, the one thing I realized was, and the sleep paralysis and things like that I was getting in the past was, this is Hollywood makes things scary. These fucking movies about the boogeyman and the monsters in the closet and these ghost shadowy figures that fuck you up or see you at night. The reason, this could be debated once again. It could be just to make money and all that, and that's what people like to see. But I immediately associated that thing sitting on me with a dark, evil presence in my house, being started down the path of magic. First thing I thought of was, well, fuck, I got a demon in my house. I got a bad spirit in my house. It's fucking with me at night, to the point where I didn't really want to go to sleep. I even wanted to start fucking using things, certain drugs that would keep you up all night, like speed, amphetamines, Ritalin, cocaine, stuff like that. And I didn't because, my will to stay off of drugs is a lot stronger than that fear was. But I had to do research into it, and that helped illuminate the fact that, our idea of scary figures and shadowy figures and dark figures has been skewed. It's been twisted. We have a program running in our mind. It's different for every person. This can be debated, but, the reason I started experimenting and trying to connect to spirits and realizing that everything that I thought in my head about, something dark sitting on my chest, does that mean it's evil? No. In all honesty, I still believe my sleep paralysis. Some people like to say sleep paralysis, that's the feeling you get before you astral travel or have a lucid dream, blah, 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 blah. To me, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to touch that because I don't know. I haven't astral traveled. I have done a couple outer body experiences, like I said, but it was only when I was very tired, and those things were not connected with that. But this feeling of electricity going through your body before you fall asleep, I feel like you're getting a shock. I still get that from time to time. In fact, I had one a few nights ago. But none of the other stuff was associated with it. I didn't have any of the other quote-unquote creepy or scary occurrences happen with it, like the dark presence and all that. And the only thing I can say to that, or why that doesn't happen anymore for me, is because of the fact that I no longer have that fear. I had that fear. I had to deal with that. And after I dealt with it, I no longer have it anymore. Now I'm okay. When I start getting that feeling, I can just deal with it, and I know what's happening, and I try to explore it. There are times where the electricity feeling gets to be a little too much, and I have to. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My dog was barking and tried to see if somebody was here, which I'll get into in a moment. But, I had to deal with those feelings. I had to deal with that fear. I had to do all that. And, it could be argued that those things were happening to me because I was starting down the path of magic. I was starting my initiation. I was starting doing all the banishings and all that shit. And then all of a sudden, I start getting this fucking feeling. I start getting these dreams to scare me. And, Freud Xavier says he's in one of his mailbags. I think I might have played it. He's had those occurrences where there's a dark energy around him, holding him down and stuff like that. And he gets into saying the best way he could put it is there's a dark, low vibrational energy on the planet trying to keep people in a low vibrational energy. And when you start rising your energy and coming above that and realizing the higher your vibration is, the happier you are, the more you use your mind to attract things to you, such as wealth, money, a better job, so on and so forth, then the more likely you will, the more likely those things are going to be attracted to you and come towards you and want to fuck with you, basically. And that's totally one way of looking at it. And I'm never going to go against Frederick Xavier and tell him that, say that he's wrong or anything like that, because he's not. I played that clip because I wanted people to hear that, because I've also talked about this stuff happening to me, and that's one way of looking at it, and that's how I looked at it for the longest time. But now I also look at it from the point of view of, well, those things happened to me because I needed to overcome that. That energy came here. If it kept me in a low vibration, well, then it won, right? Technically, kind of the way Saturn restricts you. Where Saturn restricts you and holds you down and gives you obstacles to overcome. Well, that energy was sitting on me because it needed me to overcome it, to rise above it, to no longer be scared of it, so to speak. And that's what happened. I came above it. So that's a different perspective I like to take of it. Yes, there's a low vibrational energy on the planet. You can go on YouTube and see all the low vibrational bullshit out there. That's to scare you into not using magic, or to scare you into being a good little conformist or believing in Jesus and all that. And I believe those two things are sometimes synonymous, sometimes together. The low vibrational energy that wants to keep you in a low vibrational energy, wants to keep you down and not attract the good life to you. I can totally see it being connected to certain religions, because if you're scared of this energy, well, you're going to call a priest. And not only that, you're going to pray to God, and you're not actually going to do the correct ways of changing your life. Whereas if you have that experience like I had, or any similar experience, then you're faced with a choice, basically. And the choice is to rise above it, realize that it is just what it is, and it's there to teach you something. And then once you come above it, then you can basically come above anything. But it doesn't mean it's a one and done. And that's what I kind of want to talk about today. I'm going to use some very true, real, personal experiences that happened recently and in the past to illustrate that point. Because truth be told, it's always going to be a battle. There's always going to be this, you're going to, especially if you're in magic, you understand the moon waxes and wanes, just like the sun goes through the 4 fucking seasons, which can be attributed to the 4 fucking, east, west, north, and south, shit like that. So the point is, you're always going to have ups and downs. Everything has cycles. So do you. And, Birch talks about if you're cursed and how to tell if you're cursed. The one way to tell is if you're trapped in this cycle that isn't going to the upswing. You're always in a downswing for a long period of time. Well, then, yeah, you probably got a fucking curse. You probably have something unnatural fucking with you. Whereas, if you're down sometimes and then you're up, well, that's normal. That's life. And that's the thing you need to watch out for, because the more up you get, because like I've said, I've been very vocal talking about. Sorry about that. My dog was barking and tried to see if somebody was here, which I'll get into. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I was busy dealing with a few different things around the house, and don't really know where I was at, but I was going to talk about different personal experiences of basically whenever you're in magic, and the different things that are going to happen to you that are going to try to maybe bring you back down to where the point, well, what's the point of doing this shit? What's the point? Everything keeps going bad, and you're always going to have that opposition. always going to come after you and attack you. The negative low vibrational energy I'm talking about, like I said, it's not just going to be a one and done. It's not just going to be over with at some point. You deal with your sleep paralysis and it's done. No, it's not how this works. It's going to come in so many different ways and forms and through circumstance in your life. You're going to have to continuously rise above. Now the goal is to keep rising above, and as you get higher vibration will match for what you're trying to attract to you. The reason this energy may come after you is because if you're not at a high vibration, you're trying to attract money, trying to attract love, well, you have to fake it till you make it kind of thing is part of the formula, right? You do your casting, you do your spell work in your circle, and you send that energy out in the universe. Now, like I've said before, and the people I always mention on this channel teach it all the time, that you light up the astral when you're doing that, so everything sees you that's in the astral, low and high vibrational energies. The thing you want to attract sees you, just like the things that don't want you to attract that also see you, and they're going to come fuck with you, which is why we have the protections up, we have the servitors, thought forms, whatever way you want to call that. We have all those things in place to protect us from those energies, but things can slip in, and if you're living with people that don't do magic, well, then they can slip in and use them to fuck with you and try to bring you down. And yeah, if someone brings you down and you're in an angry spot, or you get to that place like, oh, what the fuck is the point? I'm not going to do this shit anymore. It never works. Even though you've had success and you know it works, that can still happen. It certainly has happened to me, and it certainly continues to happen to me. And the better I deal with it, the faster things actually come after that I want to happen. And I'm going to give you an example that happened today, to be honest, and that's probably what provoked me to do this. But I just want to stress that all the love and light stuff out there about magic is possible, is true, and can be. But it's not all what it's about. When you add all that lovey-dovey light crap, and you add that to the cursing and the hexing and the magical warfare and how to protect yourself and realize that there are real dangers that come along with this, well, there's your perfect balance. You got to do both, all right? If you're trying to attract stuff, then like I said a couple of videos ago, when the last time I was on, actually, your best bet is, whenever you're not doing your spell and all that, to put on stuff. Now, you don't necessarily want to be thinking about your spell, but you are what you watch. You are who you surround yourself with. You are what. If you're trying to become something, you're trying to become whatever job you want, or you're trying to make money, or you're trying to attract love, well, then you have to continuously be surrounded by that. And if the people in your life aren't magically inclined and might be going through a rough time, well, then yeah, when you're doing the dishes, you should put on testimonials of people that have attracted money, because you're just going to keep reaffirming to your subconscious mind, especially if you're doing something like the dishes. You got your conscious mind or your subconscious mind right at the surface, because it's taken over, because you know how to do the dishes. Like I said, you can carry on a conversation with somebody with your conscious mind while your subconscious takes over, kind of like when right now I'm not consciously breathing, my subconscious is breathing, and my conscious is telling you what I want to tell you today. Well, it's right there at the surface, so it's going to sink in a lot better. The reason why you should put on a recorder of your affirmations or listen to books that you really want to retain while you sleep. It's the same process. Your subconscious is right there at the surface, and if you don't have cross-communication or you can't meditate, well, this is a great first step to get those things done, or to get them to work a little bit better for you. I forgot what I was going there with that. Oh yeah, but that's your perfect balance right there, because you have to realize the dangers of this stuff. And not only that, the opposition, that low vibrational energy, that stuff is always going to be around you. You can cleanse your house as much as you want, but it's always going to keep coming back. And the more you banish, reject, deny all your thoughts, the more you do your actual banishings. Because if you're going through a hard time right now in your life, and you haven't went to temple recently, you haven't done your banishings in a few days, well, stop blaming magic for not working, and stop blaming your circumstances, stop blaming your loved ones for having negative thoughts and not believing in what you're doing and all that. Because yeah, that could be part of it, but if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're going to get mad at everybody else, well, you haven't changed much. You're blaming other people for your lack of initiative, for your discipline to go do what you're supposed to do. Because, if you're listening to me and you're actually one of these people, and I'm not going to lie, I've done it before too. I thought, oh, cool, I got my manifestations to work good. I don't need to go to circle. I don't need to go to temple anymore. I can just do it in my head once in a while. But no, you can't. You do have to find that balance. Depending on your energetic chart, your makeup, your programming, all that stuff, you may be somebody who can do it in their head more often than none, and I truly believe that will depend on your chart, because I do believe that I can do that more often than not, do magic in my head, do my circle in my head and all that, but I still have to go to my temple and actually do it out in the open and show my subconscious mind that way as well. It all comes back to your energetic makeup and how you handle these things. I should go get my book for my other things I want to talk about to make sure I keep some kind of structure and the ADD doesn't take over. But yeah, give me one moment. All right, and I'm back. Okay, so I just really wanted to stress out that negative energy vibration, whatever it is. It's not always going to be your dreams showing you that there's a negative entity, but that may happen. It may have already happened to you, and I hope if it is, you don't just write it off as some kind of demonic force or whatever in your home. Now, that being said, you should always be cleaning out your house as much as possible, and if you have a temple room, or even if you just have an altar set up in a room somewhere, definitely make it very clear that to everybody to not touch your altar tools, your altar space, and all that, because I went over in one video how everything on your altar is kind of like a physical representation of your mind, of tools that you're going to use for your being, your soul, your aura, your mind, however you want to look at it. Because I used my my thumb and or my machete that I have. It's no longer a machete; it's a ritual sword. To cast away, to keep away the demons. Anytime those negative thoughts start trying to take over, and let's say I accepted a thought about using possibly, and I haven't used yet, but it creeped in there, and I kind of let it pass the gates, and it's creeping into my mind. Well, then if it has to be done, if it keeps happening and I can't banish it, or I'm banishing it, but because I somewhat may have accepted it, not knowingly, however you want to think about it, okay, because I banish and reject those thoughts as much as possible. But if I'm, doing something and the thought didn't come to me, but let's say I get in a fight with my wife and I just say something stupid like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go fucking use right now since you don't trust me. Something to that effect. Well, that's kind of like not really accepting the thought, like, oh, maybe you should use, and I keep saying, no, I banished that thought, but I initiated it out of spite with my wife, but still put the idea in my head, depending on her reaction. It might be something that, oh, fuck, maybe I can get away with it. Maybe I should fucking do that, whatever. And if I don't let it go unchecked and I don't do my banishings, whatever, for a day or so, then I might need to take that weapon out, make a physical representation and banish it, or do a little more spiritual work, visualizing something and banish it with that. But the point is, the things on my altar, my wand, that's an extension of my being. That sword, that athame, is an extension of that being. That altar itself is an extension of my being. I look at all those things, they are meant to keep sacred. That space has to stay sacred. It has to be cleaned. It has to be, and not just a spiritual clean with, say you're the type of person who uses sage to call on spirits or to cleanse things or whatever. I'll leave that up to the practitioner to decide what they want to use their white sage for. But, if you're going to use salt and water, well, you're going to neutralize your things. Now, if someone else touched your ritual tool, then it's a good idea to take out some salt and water, cleanse it, reconsecrate it, and all that, depending on if your wife took your athame to do something, I don't know what, but to take a sliver out of herself and she cut her skin or whatever. Well, Birch teaches that if athame has ever been used to cut, it shouldn't, cut skin, it should not be used in a ritual setting anymore. He said there probably is stuff out there teaching that you can reconsecrate it, something to that effect, but from what he knows, you shouldn't redo it again. But the point is, if you don't have an actual temple, that's fine, maybe cast for it, maybe eventually, look for it, because you do need your own space. But it depends on what your brand of spirituality is, because I've had a lot of success going outside with not even a candle and using the ground, using my connection through earth with no socks on, and being in a meditative state, trance-like state, and asking for things and getting the things fairly quickly. And like I said, that being said, even now, I don't I'll do my rituals every day, but like I said, I'll do the majority of them during the week in my head. I'm not telling people to do that or to not do that. If you want to know, if you're not sure, go on YouTube, get your chart, get some readings and see what they say about all your planet placements and all that. Go to my website, go to my YouTube channel. I've got a few videos on there that you might find helpful. I have, I don't know, maybe a couple offers on there, but that's as far as I'll say about that. But, for the one person I am currently doing something for, it should still be ready by Friday. I don't know if you're listening to this or not, but if you are, I should still have it ready for you on time. However, I need to send you an email just about something very small, and I'll give you already what I've got. But anyways, I'll do the majority of mine in my head, generally in the morning when I wake up and at night when I sleep. But I do go to my temple, my altar, 3 to 4 times a week in the physical. And if I'm not doing one of those, if it's not, say I do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Saturday or Sunday, depending on whichever day. Well, those days I'll only do another one in my head, but if I'm only doing the ones in my head, I do it multiple times. But lately, my magic hasn't been being done in a ritual setting. Prior to this, all my magic, everything I asked for, all my manifestations have been done at my altar. Any sigil, any carving, anything I've made, I did it at my altar. I would do it sometimes before, and then just light the candle at my altar prior, and then during the want to come through to pass. I'm grateful for those also. Every candle I carve is grateful for that already happening as well. And same with the program in the water, which I have to redo after this. But so I'll give you a little story about what's going on here. So I have 4 children, I have a house, I have 2 cars, and, I come on here and I say I manifest my life, I manifest my bills, because, yes, my EI, I've been on EI a couple times in the last 3 years, which I shouldn't have been able to or eligible for, so that is all magic. Things like, if I would have heard what my wife said, saying, babe, that's not possible, being that she works for the government, if I would have heard that before the manifestations, well, I might not have ever actually tried to manifest the things I have. But by the time she told me that, the things I've already went through, however it happened, but we are at this place because we took a little trip with the baseball back to school shop and all this crap going on. Things were tight. So we had an agreement with our electrical company to pay the rest of something, although we forgot a few times in a row now to go pay them. And today I was supposed to go do that, and I was waiting for my oldest son to wake up to watch the kids, and we owed them $400, and there was only $390 in the account, so I was supposed to go down there and give them that, whatever. And at the exact same time I was thinking about it, like, fuck, I better go before something happens. The electrical got cut off. Fucking air conditioners just stopped. Nothing's on. I'm like, are you kidding me? I go outside. Sure enough, they're right there. My dog was going crazy. That's why not too long ago, that's what I was talking about. I had to make sure somebody was here. I was actually recording with the power off. So after when I actually shut it off, I went outside, I spoke to them, I told them what was going on. They said, well, once you go pay, we'll turn it back on. And I was so angry, and I gave them a fucking look. I didn't do an evil eye or anything like that, but, I was fucking so mad. Like, I was livid. I got in the car, fucking went there, and in my mind, I was thinking about all the ways of, like, fucking with them, going there, causing a scene, screaming and yelling, letting my ego, letting my emotions get the better of me. And I know better, but sometimes it's very hard to control. It's very hard to not do. And, and it's only a 5-minute ride from there to here. But, I went through all these emotions in my head, thinking about when they come back, what I'm going to do to them. I fucking hope something, all these bad things that I know better not to do, because I don't want the karma to come back to me. After it hits them, it's going to hit me back. So, and my projections might push it away for a while, but it might latch onto somebody else in my house, and then that's just extra karma for me. Not only is it going to affect the electrical guys here and the receptionist, then it's going to hit my stepson and my daughter, and then my wife, and then my dog, and then that's extra karma for every fucking other person in my thought form that I shot out there. My ideas that I shot out there have to come back and hit me up. Now, there's debate on if they deserve it. If there's something going on, then maybe I won't get it back, or if I do more good than bad, then maybe it'll even out, and I'll let you be the deciding factor about that. But even on the car ride there, because like I said, I've studied the charter rights, Canadian charter rights and freedoms, and if you decide to make yourself a free man, a free person, actually a live birth, not a stillbirth, as your birth certificate technically is a stillbirth record of you. Therefore, any money that's associated to your person, the government has it. I kind of went over this in some previous really old videos or recordings on speaker episodes, radio show, whatever you want to call it, to come right to that that signature, that name, that corporation no longer not holding up their end of the deal, because I haven't held up my end of the deal, basically. But once you take this to court and say, I have rights, this and that, even though you have a contract there, you can. Now it's not always foolproof, it's not always easy, but there are ways to fight this and talk to a judge. And most of the time, if you do it from a well-centered, balanced place, you can have them turn it back on and fight this. So anyways, I'm going through all this in my head, recalling all the info that I've learned in the past and how I'm going to go there, and if they decide not to do something because I was $10 short of the actual number, how I was going to take that, saying they're holding my electricity for my kids and I have rights and this and that. And all this is going through my head. I get in the parking lot and I actually took a few minutes to breathe, calm down, saying, you know what, none of this is needed. I don't need to do this. I managed just to calm myself down just from breathing. So I walked in there, and instead of losing it, I just said, hey, I gave him my address and my name, and then she said, okay, it's 376. And I was like, what the fuck, 376? I didn't say anything there, but this was going on in my head, like, fuck, it's supposed to be 400. Like, I was $10 short, and now I have an extra $20 in my account. Like, this is fucking sick. Awesome. Okay. But I didn't say anything. And she said, oh, they might have already shut it off or on the process of shutting off. I'm like, yeah, I saw them there. It's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I should have been in here yesterday, and I should have been in here a couple of weeks ago. So she's like, oh, no, I'll call them right now. I'll have it turned back on and all that. So I left there, and I'm like, well, just in case, I'm going to go to the bank and pull out the other $20. And as I do that, the fucking $3,000 that my wife's job has been owed to her for the longest time, bam, it's in the fucking account. Just like that. Just like that. So I go from having only $400 in the bank to my electricity being shut off to go and have to spend that $400, which I was $10 short apparently because of bank fees or whatever else. I forget what. Actually, might have been a little bit of groceries we bought last night. So I'm going there all in a fucking riot, pissed off. I actually saw the electric company's truck. Now, I don't know if it was them, but they have a van for Cornwall Electric, and they got in an accident on my way home. I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't cause that. At the same time, it was like, well, fuck, I'm pretty powerful. It's like, fuck that karma. Hopefully, fuck, that's not going to come back to me. But just goes to show you, I was able to calm down, and I got a break. The bill should under no circumstance should that bill have been $376. It was supposed to be almost $400, like $398 or something to that effect, and I didn't have enough. And not only that, as an extra timbit, I got an extra $3,000 in the account. I mean, that money was owed to us. It was back pay for my wife's work, but still, it was pretty fucking amazing. All right, and I'm back.
What did you go
take them a long time. I asked them how long it takes, and I'm not gonna fucking harp on it technically, because by that point, I only knew about the extra, the $20 taken off the bill, which isn't much, but or it was like $22, something like that, taken off the bill, which isn't much, but I was grateful for, because I went from not having enough to having more than enough, and with just that extra $20 in the account, I felt great. I felt like, fuck, this is awesome to come back. But it's still, and yeah, so that was something that she's been owed to for actually a while now. I want to say it's been 4 or 5 months, and with no resolution in sight. She's called many times, and she finally gave up calling, and because I think I said in the last episode, my wife's actually been getting a lot better when it comes to this stuff. Talk about another little success story. Once again, it's money owed to us. Like I said, she gets $50 a kid for child support for the 2 oldest boys. And before our camping trip, we spent a lot of money once again on, getting the campsites, getting all. It was owed to her. And we had to make 2 trips because we didn't have our journey on the road at this point, which we just got back on the road. We figured save a little bit of money by not having to spend 2 things of filling up 2 gas tanks. So we left a 6-cylinder parked, and this way we didn't have to take the winter tires off, and we'll only put it back on the road come September, November, so it's only about a month or 2 before the snow starts, and this way, or the cold weather starts, so then we don't have to take off the winter tires just to put them back on. But anyways, the mailman came while she was waiting in the driveway. As she was waiting in the car, because I always take a while to get ready before we leave, supposed to be on a Wednesday. My wife, it took her 2 weeks later to get hers resolved. Same problem, same bank. Mine was my EI check. Hers was through her job, but she got hers in the mail too, which was very unlikely back then. And by the time I said, you know what, I'm going to make a candle for hers too. That took about 3 days, mind you, but ended up coming in. But anyways, money that was all owed to us. But the point is, we're getting it before she used her mind to bring that. And today, I put her, freaking out a little bit and letting it all out, experiencing the emotion, not just burying it down and letting it eat up at the inside of me. I let it out, freaked out. Hopefully it didn't cause that accident, but I went to the fucking bank and I got $20 off my bill. I went from not having enough money to having more than enough money, and then bam, magically, a bunch of money in the account. So you can be the judge of how that all worked out and how that happened. I'm just going to have fun reveling in the success of what I'm doing. So all these successes that continuously happen, when they first start happening for you, it's one of those things that it provides the concrete proof that this stuff is real. It provides, because the more you're down, the more you're not going to get. And on top of that, the more you face these things that are after, when you either learn the lesson, which normally if you're learning a lesson, you're probably going to fail. Something bad's going to happen, because technically I shouldn't have probably reacted the way I did this morning with the whole situation. I knew that was a possibility. I'm the one that didn't pay or honor the arrangement. I'm the one that waited the last second to leave, and yet I was mad at these guys for just doing their job. I mean, that's not right. I had no right to go down there and freak out. And, I had my little emotional breakdown in the car, freaking out, screaming, yelling, punching the steering wheel, thinking about all the ways I'm going to do to these people, say to these people, take them to court, fucking lawyer up, fucking school them, and how much knowledge I know, and this and that. And when I got there, I just calmed down. I breathe, I let it go, because I know. I tell my wife this all the time, and then, I got to practice what I fucking preach. I went in there with a cool, calm head, and just pretended like I'm coming in and pay a fucking bill. I didn't start off with, yeah, hey guys, I'm $10 short, is it okay? Because initially that's what I was going to do, was going to go in there, and, once I calmed down, like, hey, what's the best way to approach this? Do I go in there and say, because I'm like, I'm not going to give them I'm not going to give them the $3.90 if they're not going to turn my shit back on. So should I ask them first? But I didn't do that. But that was initially one way I was thinking about approaching it, because I should take that money and I'll get money from somewhere else, because I never worry about money. I know whatever I need, I'm going to be provided. So I'll fucking take that, go get a new electric company to come do my house, and fuck you, go in the collections, bitch. But I didn't do that. I went in there, a calm head, and I got $20 off. And after being grateful